Hey, it's me, GV, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the fourth episode of the Morningstar podcast. In this episode, we have none other than Camelworks. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Man, Camelworks is so awesome because, so far I've had on Fudge Muppet, and as we were talking before, I know you guys, so how close of friends are you guys?
We're actually pretty close, yeah. It was very strange, like the two channels in Australia that pretty much do the same stuff, we live like 10-minute drive from each other.
Yeah, I asked them about, what's the whole deal with Bethesda tubers being from Australia? They were like, well, who else other than, us and Camel? And I was like, well, there's Will Burger, right? You familiar with his stuff?
Lone Vault Wanderer.
Yeah, I was going to bring him up next, Lone Vault Wanderer. And I think there's even, a couple more that I'm forgetting of. But you guys are
I feel like there are, but I can't really think of them.
I know. I know there are definitely, and it's not because I'm just forgetting their channel or anything. I
think in terms of country population, I think there's a disproportion where Australia has more per capita or whatever it is.
Bethesda YouTubers.
Yeah. Like we've got less than America, but America's got 15 times the population or something.
I know. Who are the big American? I mean, I'm sure there's loads, but I feel like most of the big Bethesda tubers are either in Europe or they're in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are kind of a bit broader than Bethesda. There's very few specifically Bethesda guys.
Yeah, that's
Alchus
true.
Breach.
I've heard of him, but I don't think I'm familiar with his.
I love Alchus Breach. He was at E3 last year. I love that guy.
Okay. And there's Oxhorn. What nationality is he? Do you know?
Oh yeah, I think he's American, judging by his accent. But dude,
there we
that guy's
go.
Killing it. Holy crap.
He's more of a Fallout guy, right?
Yeah, he just does Fallout, and dude, every video he puts up is 50 minutes long. He gets 100,000 views in the first day.
Wow, nice. I mean, you're killing it too. I'm looking at your channel right now. Oh yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, one of the first things I wanted to mention was you must have just hit 400,000 subscribers recently, huh?
I did, yeah, just the other day, 2 days ago, maybe.
Oh, nice. Well, congratulations, first off.
Thank you very much. I didn't even know. I was raking the lawn in the front yard, and I came inside and to all these messages, oh, okay, thanks. I had no idea.
That's much nicer than all these messages that I got a couple of days ago, because PewDiePie used me in a video, and that sounds like, oh, that's great, right? Who doesn't want to be in a PewDiePie video?
Okay.
But, yeah, he called me a fucking moron and an idiot.
Why? What the hell happened?
Are you familiar with the game Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy?
I've never heard of that.
Man, people on my channel are probably so tired of me talking about this game. Have you seen the?
Really?
Yeah, have you seen the guy in the pot with the sledgehammer? Anything like that? The gameplay?
Yeah, no, I have seen that.
Okay, that game is Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Bennett Foddy is the developer of QWOP. Do you remember QWOP back in the day?
I do remember QWOP.
Yeah, and basically the whole gameplay is moving the sledgehammer and bringing yourself up this mountain of trash, but the whole gameplay is designed around the fact that you can make a big mistake and you can fall all the way back to the beginning. So it's just brutal.
Yeah, I watched some of that gameplay of that. I think it was on Twitch, but it just looked so painful.
It is. But the first try took me 13 hours to beat. I beat it all on stream, and I fell down constantly. But I've been playing that game so much. It just released on Steam that I've got it down to my record's 8 minutes and 11 seconds. So that's down from 13 hours.
That's a pretty good, pretty good difference there. What's the world record? Do you know?
Yeah, there's one guy that constantly, he doesn't even have an icon on YouTube, but he constantly uploads and beats his own world record. And I think his best was 2 minutes and 30 seconds so far.
Damn.
Yeah, he just,
is that flawless? How long does it actually, if everything was perfectly done, would it take 2 minutes to finish it?
Jesus, if you watch that video, it's insane. He has perfected every single movement. It's crazy. And I think, yeah, he's pretty close to getting it perfect, but that game inherently has so many, traps for you to mess up on that I think even on his most recent videos, they're still little mess ups here and there. But
interesting.
Yeah, but anyways, PewDiePie's doing a playthrough on his channel, and long story short, he couldn't get past like the certain part, so he pulled up a guide on YouTube, and I guess he saw mine first. He pulls up my guide, and in the guide, it's the one part that I mess up. I like literally like say, okay, I'm like, what you want to do is you want to like swing around here, grab this thing, and do it. And so I do that, and I fall off, and I'm like, oh shoot, well we messed up, but that's okay. And then it literally cuts to him, and he's like, I guess your walkthroughs, I forget exactly what he says, but he literally is like, you're a fucking moron. And then right after, terrible. I know, and then right after he does it too, so that it's like a joke, like he insults me, and then he makes the same mistake. Oof. But I woke up and like literally, I don't know how many comments everybody was just telling me that, and still to this day. And I'm like, you can just look at the other comments, people. Like I know it's been like 5 days or something. Yeah,
those like strings of comments where one thing happens in your video, and then it's like, come on guys, relax.
It's fine, but like the one thing is just when they think that I haven't seen it, it's like, look at every other comment. Everybody's pointing it out. But okay, we've already gotten a decent amount of ways in here, but I haven't even asked you like the traditional question here on Morningstar. I've asked our previous guest so far. You're the fourth episode, but the third guest. I've had on Fudge Muppet, and then I've had on the LaFave Bros. Are you familiar with them?
No. Who are they? They sound like some kind of electro band.
They're actually the understudies of Daft Punk. Yeah, they're going to take the reins when Daft Punk dies.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. No, you probably know who they are, but you just don't realize it. They're the guys that do the Oblivion, like the meme sort of video. Have you seen like the Oblivion like where he's like running around the pool of water and he's doing like all the NPC motion? There were like 4 big viral videos that got like millions and millions of views.
I've probably seen their videos. Is that what their channel's called? The LaFave Bros?
Yeah, LaFave Bros.
I feel like I've never seen that in my life, but I've probably seen their content, man. I mean, I've watched that many funny Oblivion videos.
I guarantee you've seen. It's like literally like the first one is like he's sitting in the chair and someone walks up to him, and you know how in Oblivion, like people will just turn and snap, and then like the camera will zoom in on their face.
Yeah.
And he does it perfectly, like literally, because it's, someone filming somebody in real life, and literally like it just zooms in on his face. And he's like, have you heard of the High Elves? And it's just like, it's just so funny. But
I feel like I watched that really recently. I was trying to find that little clip where someone goes, have you heard of the High Elves?
It's probably that one.
Use it in a video. And I couldn't find footage from the game, but I kept finding 2 dudes in real life doing it.
So it's probably that, yeah.
I legit probably watched it like a week ago.
Yeah, they made like 4 of them, and the last one, like they're at a pool, and he's like playing the guard, and he like runs around the pool and then walks in the pool and does the perfect Oblivion like swimming animation. And as he's doing, he's like, why won't you die? And then the other guy like, hits him and kills him. And then he just ragdolls perfectly like an NPC would. It's great. But
that's good.
The question I need to ask you is, would you like to answer the book question or the snail question?
Let's go with the book question.
Book question. Okay, cool. The book question
I heard Fudge Muppet answer the snail question.
Okay.
And if there's one group of guys you don't want to ask a philosophical question, it's Fudge Muppet, because they're super philosophical.
That went on for quite a while.
Dude, at E3, we sat down for dinner, and we're like, what beer should we get? And Scott was like, well, it depends. And then he just went on this philosophical rant. About 6 hours later, we're back in our hotel room. I'm trying to sleep, and he's still just unloading all this philosophy. I'm like, please. It all stemmed from the beer originally. When you were like, here's a philosophical question, Fudge Muppet, I'm like, oh, you don't know what you've done, man. You're asking the wrong guys.
I'm glad I didn't ask them the book question then, because the book question is way more philosophical than the snail question.
Okay, here we go.
All right, the book question is, so you happen upon a book, and it's a huge tome, and you sense there's something magical about it. You open up the tome, and you realize that this book is basically describing every moment of your entire life up to this point. Now, you read up to this point right now, as literally we're talking. Well, that wouldn't make sense, because I don't think you'd read a book while we're doing a podcast, but maybe afterwards, you read it up to that point.
What do you think I'm doing right now?
Are you reading a book?
I'm joking.
If it's any of the Game of Thrones books, then I'll give you a pass.
It's Dora the Explorer, but shh.
Oh,
I'm trying to
okay.
learn Spanish the easy way.
Okay, hey, that makes sense. Okay, so you get up to that point, and the question is, do you read further? Do you read your fate, or do you throw the book away and say, I make my own fate?
This is actually hilarious that that's what this question's based on, because the philosophical rant that Scott went on about was all predeterminism.
Oh, nice.
It's like literally exactly what this question's about. I feel like I would read it and then do everything I could to not like break what the fate said I was going to do.
Wait, so okay,
I was going to do.
So you would read it and then basically do everything against what the book's saying that's going to happen.
Yeah, who wrote this book? How do I know this is legit?
I mean, you don't. That's the question too, right? Because it could just be some sort of thing that's trying to trick you into thinking you should follow the book. But yeah, you don't know.
I would read it. I would not care. Even if everything happened to the T.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to help it anyway.
Have you seen Westworld?
I haven't.
Damn it! The Lefebvre bros picked this question too, and I brought up Westworld, and they hadn't seen it either, so I wasn't able to expand. You need to watch that show. Oh, it's amazing. Okay, interesting. So I was going to also
I'm also a big fan of spoilers. Like, before I watch a movie, I like to know everything that's going to happen.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You like to... I mean, honestly, that's not that far off from my mentality, but it's just I don't spoil things for myself if I know I'm going to like consume it. I only do it if I know that there's no chance in hell. Like, I hate horror movies, but if I'm interested in like a plot of a horror movie, I'll just like spoil the whole thing.
Right. Like with Game of Thrones, I was like, I can't be fucked reading the books, so I'll just read all the wiki pages on everything.
Dude,
all the interesting stuff.
I did that too, and I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan.
I did then. Admittedly, I then went and read the books.
Oh, nice. Have you read them all?
Oh, I read the first two, and then I listened to the rest on audiobook, except I played The Witcher 3 at the same time. like I would have one earphone with Game of Thrones and playing The Witcher 3 all at the same time, and my brain has like combined the two universes. That was a big mistake. I shouldn't have done it, dude. Like, when they're talking about a castle in Game of Thrones, I'm picturing this castle from Witcher, and then I'm getting Witcher stories mixed into Game of Thrones. It's a big mess.
Oh my god, I'm like, that is like information. That's the definition of information overload. Like, Game of Thrones, right. It's easy to read, but it is filled with subtext and subplot. And then The Witcher is just it's cutscene the game. You know, with like a rich lore background. Oh man,
it was an error. In hindsight, I'm like, this is terrible. I shouldn't have done this.
Hey, that's not as bad as I listened to a podcast called PKA. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
No. Do they do Oblivion meme videos?
No, it's like old school like Call of Duty YouTubers. They've had it for like it's
okay.
It's been a podcast for forever. But one of the hosts was listening to all the Game of Thrones audiobooks too. But what happened was his his like, you know, iPhone or whatever put it on shuffle by accident. So he started listening to, I think, one of the longer, because the third and the fifth books are longer than usual. And he started listening to them out of order, and he didn't realize it, and it just ruined like the whole book.
I downloaded some Spanish lessons, like audio lessons, except episode 1, it was like, welcome to lesson 1. Episode 2 was like, welcome to lesson 43. I'm hang on, what the hell is this?
Advanced.
So I learned how to say hello at a bar. And then it just went straight to like business meetings. I'm like, hang on, what the hell is this? So that's why I didn't learn Spanish.
Had to argue for a client in Spanish in a Spanish law room. What a court! I was like, there's got to be a better word for that. A law room.
So okay, is there like some philosophical backing to a wrong or a right answer to the book question?
No, I don't think so. Westworld deals a little bit with like predetermined fates, so that's why I tried to bring it up with you and the Lefebvre bros. But there's another.
Okay.
Have you ever read? I know it's like a classic story, but it's also been made into, I think, a couple of movies. But like the what's it called? It's like The Time Traveler or something. Do you know
Doctor
what I'm
Who?
talking about? No, it's like one of those classic it's one of those classic literature stories. Like I'm trying to think of other, like the War of the Worlds. Like that was a really classic book that's been made into other stuff too. But there's just someone's gonna tell me what this is in the comments because I'm not actually sure. But there's a movie with like Will Smith plays a very small part in it. I think it was like early 2000s movie. But the whole thing is like a guy invents a time machine because his wife is killed and he wants to go back.
Oh, no, I have seen that. Yeah.
Oh, you've seen that
It's
movie?
like no matter what he does, she ends up dying anyway.
Right. Like I wonder if that's how it would be, right? Because you're saying you try to go against the book no matter what, but like what's really interesting is would the book have like a rubber banding effect to it so that it would always
Well,
make
sure, that's what I would find that out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like that would be a really like freaky thing to find out that no matter what you did, like the book always is right and then you have to live by this book.
Yeah. I still feel like I'll be able to fuck it up somehow. Like, gotcha, bitch. To the book. Yeah, no, it would be interesting. But even if everything in that book happened to the T, I wouldn't care. It would actually, if anything, give me a mad upper hand because I'll know everything that was going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like we're alike in that respect actually, because I was watching some of your videos.
It's just like knowledge is power, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly. But like also when you tied it to the spoiler thing, like I do the same thing sometimes. Like I love Game of Thrones. I'm on the last book now. I've seen every episode multiple times. It's like my favorite thing ever. But I also spoiled a ton of shit for myself like early on, like in the books, you know, going past the show.
Oh yeah. I feel like there's some like this new Star Wars movie, for example, I didn't spoil for myself.
Okay, you hold Star Wars.
I'm sure
sacred.
I could have found spoilers if I wanted to, but things like when Fallout 4 came out, everyone's like, "Oh, they're spoiling the story." I'm like, "Good, I need to know as much as possible."
Oh man,
in advance. I mean, especially when your career's based on it. It's like, dude, give me all the information imaginable, please.
That is true. That's something that people don't realize is like when you do this for a living, when you make videos on Elder Scrolls and Fallout for a living, like. Yeah, it sort of just it does take away a little bit of that like that wonder factor because you do need to consume it as fast as possible.
I've never sat down and just played Fallout 4 like as a thing, just played it. It's always like, all right, I'm playing it for 2 hours now, filming a gun.
I know, and even if you want to, it's like yeah. I might as well film. You know, I might as well film and get some footage for something.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's it is a double-edged blade, but I think it's definitely way better than it is bad.
Absolutely, because also it like makes you delve deeper into like the whole mythos and the lore and everything like that too, and find out stuff that you'd never find out otherwise.
Like the initial experience is a lot less like, oh wow, but 4 years down the track, you know everything about the game.
Absolutely.
At least Oxhorn does.
Yeah, I need to watch his channel. There's so many like Bethesda YouTubers that I just have not broken into yet. What was the guy that you mentioned at the start? Alchist Breach?
Alchist Breach.
Alchist Breach. And does he do more Elder Scrolls or Fallout?
He does. It's mostly Fallout stuff. He does a lot of like mod playthroughs.
Okay.
He's really good. He's got a mad personality. A lot of voices and accents.
Cool. Is it more like
it's hard to describe. He's a very entertaining guy.
Is it more like role play heavy?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I don't know. I just watch him and I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. But even then, I try to avoid watching other people who make videos similar to my stuff, just because I don't want to like become overly influenced by their content.
Yeah,
and end up just like carbon copying it.
Absolutely, and also at the end of the day, it's just like it's an overload, you know, of one particular game, pretty much.
Oh, for sure. And then it's also like, dude, I don't have time to just watch all this YouTube stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm too busy. Like, it's like people that make TV probably don't watch TV because they're too busy making TV.
Exactly, yeah.
So like that kind of thing.
I'm only watching two people right now. It's Trump, not the president, but the Hearthstone guy. And I know.
Hearthstone player?
Yeah. Do you watch Trump at all?
I did back in the day. I moved on to Crip.
Oh yeah, Crip's good too. I just like Trump because he's so like he's such an honest, innocent little soul.
He is.
Yeah.
I like Crip's. Crip's got a bit of spice in there.
Yeah, I think the spice is salt. I think he's got a lot of salt.
Yes, that is true.
Oversalted.
But
if you will.
I can like associate with Crip more because
No,
I'm the
me too.
saltiest man on earth.
Dude, I totally get. No, I alternate between Trump and Crip. I watch. Yeah, when I watch streams of Hearthstone, I watch Crip, but when I watch YouTube videos, I watch Trump's because Trump's editor Jen's like does an amazing job. But yeah, I want to actually ask you a Hearthstone question, but we'll save that for a little bit later. For people unfamiliar with your channel, how would you describe it?
There's a lot of Elder Scrolls and Fallout guides, and then I suppose delving deeper into things within the game so you don't really notice are there. Or you'll do a quest and you're like, that was fun, but if you kind of look between the lines, there's all this other weird stuff sitting around. Like, I've got a series called the Elder Scrolls Detective series, which is basically where I'll like walk into someone's house, and instead of being like, oh cool, it's a house, I'll like look under every cupboard and under their bed and check what books they're reading and see if there's like any weird underlying themes in their house. And oftentimes, man, like some random bookseller ends out to be like a Daedra worshiper and has a shrine in their basement.
What's your?
There's a lot of there's so much of that stuff, and yeah, I basically just have a series where I point that out, and people love it.
I was actually going to bring that series up. What's your most favorite thing that you've ever like discovered on that series?
Oh, that's a tough question.
I know.
Probably the there's in Oblivion, there's a quest, I can't remember what the hell it's called, but you discover there's this town called Hackdirt where they worship these entities underground called the Deep Ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's no evidence of them existing, except I found this, if you go to the very bottom of the mine where it's caved in, there's this unique sound effect of the Deep Ones, confirming they exist, and that ordered anywhere on the internet, and I found it, and I'm like, oh my god.
Wow, wait, so that sound effect doesn't play unless you go all the way to, which I'm assuming you can't normally, right? You have to...
Yeah, it's unique to that mine, and it's basically the deepest part of the mine that's caved in, and behind the rocks there's this like blood-chilling growl, and you're like, bro, the Deep Ones are real, what is that?
Holy shit.
It was good.
Wait, but
yeah, legit.
Do you find that normally, or do you have to like? That's because that doesn't sound like it's not a part of the quest, right? You have to actually be looking for that.
Oh yeah, I had to turn like all the music because I swear I was walking around. I'm like, what the hell was that? And then I turned all the music off and everything, and I turned the footsteps off, and I could hear it a few times. I was getting louder, and then I found the loudest point was at the bottom of this mine shaft that was caved in.
That's actually really awesome. I remember that quest so well.
The hell was that noise?
That's the one with all the people that look really weird, right? Their face models are really...
the Brethren.
Yeah. Oh, man. I'm going to watch that video when we get off here because I'm really curious as to what that sound is.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, but that whole thing's based off a H.P. Lovecraft thing.
Yeah. Just like the Dunwich buildings in Fallout.
Oh, what? Yeah, there's dude, I swear there's so much Lovecraft influence in everything.
I know that one is just that's like a ham-fisted reference because the one in Fallout 3, Dunwich is like actually a name they use. I'm not familiar with H.P. Lovecraft like at all, other than Cthulhu, obviously.
The only reason I am is because of all the stuff in Elder Scrolls and Fallout, where I have like whenever I'm making a video on it, I have to explain that it's basically just a renamed copy of some H.P. Lovecraft story.
Yeah, because there's that one, and then there's is there one in New Vegas?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I haven't played New Vegas for years, basically.
Yeah, but like there's the one in Fallout 4.
Yeah, there's the... What is it? I can't even remember. I know it's all there, though. It's like, as soon as I make a video on something, I forget about it. I delete it from my memory.
Dude, my memory is the absolute worst. Like, I can remember the exact words someone said, like, years ago in a very menial conversation, but I can't remember, like, what I ate for dinner last night. And I know that happens to a lot of people, but it's so goddamn frustrating. Ugh.
Yeah, no, dude, it's pretty... I think just because I'm dealing with so much information at all times.
Yeah.
It's like, why do I remember your name from a kindergarten class?
Yep.
And like some woman I've met 8 times at conventions, I cannot remember what the hell her name is.
Oh, that's awful. I'm awful with
I'm
names
so
too.
bad with names.
Just being at like parties and meeting people when you're not drunk yet. This is more in high school and college, but like meeting people, having like a really interesting conversation, leaving, coming back, and just not knowing what to call this fucking person whatsoever. It's the worst.
Or they're like, "Hey," and then they call you by your name, and you're like, "Who the hell are you?"
You do that classic like movie line, like, "Hey, guy, there's my bud.
What's up, Dane?" Man, where's Dane? For some reason, this is stuck in my head. At E3, JV 2017 was there.
Oh yeah.
And Michael from Fudge Papa just kept walking around going, "JV." And that's stuck in my head. Every time I meet anyone, I'm just like, hey, JV. Oh, it's terrible.
Are you aware that people call me GV on my channel?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
That's like what I went to say, but it came out as JV, and I was like, and then I looked at your name on Discord, and I'm like, no, it's definitely a G. God damn it. Yeah. Do you go to any conventions?
No, I for whatever reason I've never been to anything like TwitchCon or anything like that, and people are always trying to get me to go, but I have like a crippling fear of flying, and it really affects it. But I mean it hasn't been as bad since recently. Like I've been able to fly no problem before, but like this year it's like it's gotten real bad. So if it didn't reach the point where it is at now, I would definitely go. But I like road trips though, so I mean I'll go at some point. For whatever reason I know I need to. Whoa, was that you or me?
It wasn't me. Whatever it was. If it was really impressive, it was me. 100%.
Did you not hear that sound?
No, I didn't.
In the world? You did?
I did not. What was it?
Oh, it was it's like a default. I don't know if that's on my end or you're on. It was like a default. It's the default sound for Streamlabs when you stream on Twitch. It's like the default sound for like following or something. It's just like bling, bling, bling. It's like a chimey sound.
It wasn't me.
What in the world? I'm trying to think. Because what happens is if I'm recording, it must have been me. If I'm recording, for some reason on OBS, it'll pull in sounds from like when I'm streaming. So I don't know. But I don't have that sound activated. Anyways, maybe your detective series could get to the bottom of this.
Okay, I'll get into it.
I think your audience will be much more interested in this sound than the stuff that they're actually interested in, like really cool shit.
Oh, for sure.
At the bottom.
I can probably spin it so they would be interested in it. Dude, I swear some things, like I'll go into a dungeon and I'm like, this is actually really boring. And then in the video, I'll like present the information out of order to like to ramp it up so it has like a progression, and then just put mysterious music in the background and use really mysterious language, and people are like, dude, this is sick. Like this is such boring content.
Wait, do you have that issue with Oblivion? What's like? So I'm assuming your detective series goes through like all the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I've made videos from. Most of them are in Skyrim. Just because, I mean, people are more familiar with that.
Right.
And Skyrim's easier to film in.
Right, yeah.
Skyrim's got a lot of very, very useful console commands. Like, you can toggle the free cam, you can pause time, all that stuff. Oblivion and Morrowind, you don't have a free cam. You have to turn clipping off, which is like just turning all gravity and physics off.
Yeah.
And then you have to run around with your character's point of view through the sky and stuff. But then all the NPCs don't have physics applied, and they're like walking through the ceiling and stuff, and you're like, ugh, yeah, it's not going that well.
Wait, so that's not just TCL? You're talking about a different command?
No, that is TCL.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
you use TCL in Morrowind and Oblivion. It applies to everything, and then the guards of the city are walking through walls and off cliffs and stuff, floating around. There's a couple of videos where in the background some dude's just doing some psycho stuff, and people are like, dude, what's going on with that guy? I'm like, oh, don't worry, I can't be bothered explaining it.
He's being affected by Sheogorath, and it's a whole nother thing that Bethesda's implemented that we're just uncovering now.
I'll get onto it. But and then the problem with Morrowind is that it's all text-based. There's no voice acting.
Right, yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty grim for the viewer when it's just me reading text for 20 minutes.
I know. Yeah, that's my conundrum when I want to stream an Elder Scrolls game, and I'm always like, Morrowind's really cool because not too many people were able to play it back in the day. They just don't know a lot about it. But then I always get to the text, and I'm like, shit, I always forget. There's no voice. There's no dialogue.
I've actually hired a voice actor to voice a character from Morrowind for this video I'm doing.
Is it like an NPC that's already in the game, or is it like a unique character?
Yeah, it's it's an NPC that's already in the game. His name's Yagrum Bagan. He's the last living dwarf.
Oh yeah, okay.
But people are obsessed with the Dwemer, which is fair enough. But most people have played Skyrim and don't know that this dude exists.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when I streamed that part because I remember seeing that guy way before I even knew what the Elder Scrolls were, or what the series, because Morrowind was my first game. And I got to that part on stream, and I was like, wait. I forgot this guy exists. Is this guy a legitimate Dwemer? Because I always thought he was like pretending to be because you don't see Dwemer anywhere else. And then the whole stream was like, yeah, no, he's legit. That's legitimately the last Dwemer.
It is. It's him. But yeah, I didn't want... Because in my videos, I'll play basically the audience asking the NPCs questions. And I didn't want me to be like, so, are you really the last dwarf? And then for also my voice to be that guy, it would have just been an absolute mess.
Just like a really cringy like change, like, yes, I am the oldest dwarf. Production
every
value.
Every time I do an accent, every comment is just like, dude, that was so cringy. I'm like, I know. I had to record it. I still get chills every time I listen to it.
I get the same fucking thing, dude. Yeah.
No, I've hired this beast. He's an absolute beast voice actor. His name's Ryan Cooper. If you type in Ryan Cooper voice actor on YouTube, whatever, you'll find him. He's doing a lot of voices for Skywind, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll send you a link once we're done here, but if the audience wants to search him up, they can do that. His voice is sick.
Hell yeah. I'm like I have zero experience, but I want to, if YouTube ever doesn't work out, I would love to like switch over to voice acting. Obviously I'd need to work on it, but I really admire like,
yeah, I was going to say
good voice actors.
I love the idea of doing that, but my voice, this is the one voice I can do. And even then it's a bit dodgy.
I have an ongoing 100% Oblivion series, and I'm playing a Khajiit called Darvesh, and every time I did the voice, because I did 100% Skyrim LP2, and I played a high elf named Adranok, and I would make it work kinda. I just brought my voice a little bit lower, and it was fine, and people kind of liked the voice overall, I'd say. But Darvesh, I can't do a Khajiit voice to like save. If like guns were to my family's head, I can't do it, and it's just
funny you should say that, because literally the last video I put up, I had to do there was a note written by a Khajiit, and I had to read it. I didn't have to, but I chose to read it in a Khajiit voice.
Yeah,
and I did like 50 takes, and I'm like, all right, this is the good one. And every comment's like, what was that? I'm like, oh no.
Dude, people don't get it. It's really hard. Like, if you've never actually tried to do a different voice in a video, it's fucking hard, because I'll do it in my like apartment, and I'll do like, I'll hear like some demon on Hearthstone or something, like one of the new demons or whatever. Yeah. And, they'll be like, doom for everyone. And I'll do it really low, and I'll be like, that's pretty good. You could probably do that if you put a filter over it. And then I'll like do it in a stream or on a video, whatever. And it'll just come off like amateur hour, like totally amateur hour.
I feel like the worst bit's when you listen to it back.
Yeah.
Like sometimes, like when I did the Khajiit thing, I'm like, that was a good take, and I listened to it back, and I'm just like sweating.
Yeah.
Oh god, I feel like lost 6 months of my life listening to that back.
I cannot wait to listen to that. I want to hear your. Wait, can you do it here?
No.
No pressure at all.
I had to prep myself so much, and there was this bit at the end.
We'll both do
where
it.
It says like I can't take this anymore, and for some reason I kept going, I cannot take this anymore. I sound like a Italian
Borat.
grandpa. Yeah,
I'm alive.
It was just
okay.
It was killing me.
Hey, dude, I'll do it with you, man. You want to try each of ours? We'll see which one's better. No pressure.
Sure. What Do we have a sentence?
Yeah, let's just do the standard Khajiit has wares if you have coin. I can go first. You're the guest if you want me to.
All right, go for it.
Okay. Trust me, yours is probably going to be way better than mine. I can't do it for whatever reason because it's like what even is it? What would you pinpoint the accent as? Is it like
Middle Eastern? Maybe?
Yeah, Middle Eastern, right? That's the closest thing. But with also like
then
some
I
Spanish.
noticed it's not even the accent necessarily. It's more like the way they structure the sound of their sentence, like where like they sometimes speak slowly on certain vowels.
Yeah.
And have a high pitch and then a low pitch for different sounds.
Yeah,
I looked into it way too much, dude. It was like a 30-second bit of voicing that took me like an hour to figure out how to do it.
God, I can only imagine. Yeah, that one Khajiit voice actor in Oblivion like does every single male Khajiit voice, you know. Okay, let me try it. Get ready to cringe, everyone, because this, especially when I'm on the spot, it's like twice as worse. Khajiit has wares if you have coin. How's that?
Hey, that's pretty good.
And that's pretty good iDubbbz.
Okay, that was my Khajiit voice.
Oh shit, my bad.
Does he say Khajiit has wares?
I think it's Khajiit has wares if you have coin.
Khajiit has wares if you have coin.
That's not bad. That's good. Yeah, that's decent.
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go get a noose.
Oh man, yeah.
If anyone's like, dude, that was heaps cringy. I know. I said it, you dummies.
Oh, we know. Yeah.
If anyone's cringing the most, it's me.
No, I'm setting it up. We both know it's. Anytime I do a voice, like I always ask my stream because I try to do the voices for all dialogue, and I'm like, you guys want me to do the voice? Like last night, Okami HD came out, and I was streaming it. And there's like so many different Japanese voices, and I was like, you guys want me to keep doing the voices? And they're just like I think like, nah, you should probably just stick with your normal voice.
Yeah, I will. I'll hire a band of voice actors for every playthrough I do. They can stand behind me and read.
That's actually a really good idea, though. I actually really, really admire that idea to get a voice actor to play that guy, because that is, I mean, honestly, you look through all the Elder Scrolls, is there more of like a unique, I guess maybe like the Snow
that's what I'm
Elves?
thinking. Like, he's probably the most interesting character. Yeah, maybe, but no one really cares about this stuff.
No.
Like, there's all these Dwemer ruins, and it's like they were wiped out 5,000 years ago, but all the stuff from back then is like futuristic robotics.
Yeah.
And they're just the most mysterious, like, what was going on with these people?
It's your classic.
And there's one you can go and talk to, and no one knows he's there because no one's played Morrowind.
What was the whole thing with that guy? Do you know the whole lore behind him, or at least like what his point was? Because it's been so long since I've talked to him.
He was traveling. He says he was in an outer plane or an outer realm or something. He was basically traveling through Oblivion when it was at the Battle of Red Mountain between the Kaima, who then became cursed and were made into the Dunmer. The Kaima and the Dwemer were fighting, and Kagran apparently, like, all the Dwemer basically just vanished all at once, and no one quite knows what happened. But Yagrum Bagan, the last living dwarf, he was in Oblivion when that happened, and he came back like, "What's up? Wait, what?" And he's just looking around like, "What the fuck?
Oh shit!"
So he spent the last 5,000 years traveling the planet and all the planes of Oblivion looking for his people, and he can't find them anywhere. But I think from memory, what was trying to happen, Talos was once a man.
Mm-hmm.
And he ascended to godhood.
Right.
The high elves hate him because men are inferior to elves and they refuse to recognize a man as a god.
Right.
But that's what the Dwemer were trying to do, basically, was reach godhood as a race. And during that process, they all just vanished at once and no one knows what happened to them.
Oh.
But yeah, this poor bastard just comes back and he's like, where is everyone?
Yeah, he's like a big fat he looks like the guy from Wild Wild West, like the bad guy and like the spider.
Yeah, and he reminds me of what was that 300 spoof movie?
Oh god.
And the version of Xerxes was a giant fat greasy guy. That's what he looks like. He looks like that guy.
Kind of like Danny DeVito in a spider chair.
He caught the Corpus disease which
Right.
basically just like zombifies you and bloats you.
Yeah.
And then he took refuge in this guy's citadel called Dwemer, who's a Dwemer wizard who's like 6,000 years old. I'm pretty sure he's the oldest dude in the Elder Scrolls.
It's not Neloth, right? But Neloth is a Telvanni wizard in Morrowind.
Yeah, Neloth is, but it's not him. It's a guy called Dwemer. He was he's got these 4 daughters. I think he calls them his like sister daughters.
Okay.
But what they are, they're 4 female clones he made of himself. He's got these like sister daughter wives where they're like married to them. He's also family to them.
Oh no.
He also sleeps with them.
He did the whole Crasser
But they're all
thing.
clones of him with breasts, basically.
Cloning myself 4 times, better give him breasts.
He's a pretty strong guy. People are like, why would he do that? I'm like, are you serious? Why would you not do that? You have the power to do that.
I mean, I'd probably if I could clone myself, I'd probably make it not look like myself if I'm definitely going to give breasts to them.
Are you serious? I would make them, I would make them identical.
You want 4 copies of yourself with breasts.
Pretty much. Well, you know, they were female versions of him.
You've got long, luxurious hair, though, so I don't know. It could work.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. The older I get, the faster it grows, and I feel like it's doing its last hurrah. And then it's just gonna fall out.
You better not cut it then. Just keep old dead hair.
Exactly. I'm worried if I cut it off, it's never gonna come back. It's like,
Yeah. Speaking of the video where I saw you and your luxurious hair, it was I remember I clicked it because it had you had photoshopped your face on Uther from Hearthstone.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. In that video, you answered a bunch of questions, one of which was, why is American beer so shit?
Yes. Okay.
I just
Are you going to defend American beer?
No, not what you... Okay, so the idea of American beer, if you're talking about domestics like Bud Light, Miller Lite...
yeah, okay,
Keystone,
so that's what pretty much all non-Americans see as American beer.
Right, that shit is trash. If you like beer at all in America, you know not to go for that stuff. That I 100% agree with you. It tastes like, I think.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you put it as what like
dirty soda water.
Dirty soda water, and that was such a perfect. That was a perfect
it's
description.
Just bubbly kind of dirty water. You're like, it tastes what is this?
It tastes like dirty soda water. Yeah, it tastes exactly like that. But there are so many American breweries that don't make anything like that. Like America, I'm not getting all like, no, hey man, I really took offense to that.
No, dude, I totally get what you mean, because when I went to Europe, they're like, oh, the Australian beer, Foster's. I'm like, what the hell is Foster's?
Yeah.
And Foster's isn't sold in Australia, but all overseas it's sold as the Australian beer, and it's absolute trash. I feel like people would drink that and be like, God, Australian beer is terrible.
That's the common thing here too. Yeah.
So that's like, Foster's is like our version of Bud Light.
Exactly.
Or Budweiser. Yeah.
Yeah. I absolutely hate that stuff, and people are going to think I'm a beer snob, but I really, really, really like beer. And yeah, no, it's like actual American breweries are pretty good for the most part, but that domestic stuff is just trash. And anytime that I'm at a bar and I see people order like a Bud Light, I just know it's because they don't know anything else. They just say the first thing that they hear on commercials because they don't drink like beer. But you can get, oh God, it breaks my heart because it's the worst. It is dirty soda water.
Okay,
exactly.
Well, you'll need to come to E3 next year.
Because
I swear, everyone that goes doesn't drink. I'm like, come on.
See, this is what I was hoping, so I could kind of tell that you're a beer man, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm just an alcoholic. No, not really. No, I enjoy a beer, yeah.
What's your favorite type?
But I'm like, dude, we're overseas. Like, when I go to E3 or conventions, I'm like, bro, we're overseas. Let's sit back, relax, and have a drink. And everyone's like, really? It's lunchtime. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm on holiday. I'm on work. I'm at work right now, actually. That's like you go to E3 for work, and it's like, dog, I'm just walking around a convention looking at games. This isn't the hardest job ever.
Yeah, man. If we ever meet up, I'll absolutely have a beer with you. I I really enjoy beers. What's your favorite type?
I'll probably say a pale ale.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I prefer just like
What about
a.
you?
I'll drink anything. I really don't like IPAs. Anything that I just don't like the hoppy flavor. So anything that's got just a ton of hops in it turns me off. I know that that's what the final form is of a beer drinker. You're supposed to love IPAs, but I just don't.
The final form.
Yeah, seriously, it's Frieza's final evolution. If Frieza was like a beer snob, you're supposed to just go crazy for like Imperial IPAs. But
Okay, and
no, but
so what do you go for?
I like anything. Mainly just ales, like easy drinking stuff, like ales or lagers or anything like that.
Yeah, I prefer stuff that's easy to drink.
Yeah, absolutely. But I like trying
something
new
you
things.
can just drink for like 6 hours straight and be fine.
Yeah, my go-to is New Belgium's Fat Tire. Don't know if you've ever had that.
I have not.
Okay. But yeah, I kind of picked up from your videos that you were a beer man, and I was like, I'm definitely gonna ask him about that because just people don't know shit.
I think in one of them I was just drinking this giant can of beer, and apparently the beer I was drinking, all these German people were like, dude, that's the beer that homeless people in Germany drink. Oh, okay. Because at my local bottle shop, there were packets of 24 of these giant cans of beer for it was like 38 Australian dollars, which is like $30 US or something.
Yeah.
The 24 giant cans of this German beer. And I'm like, all right, I'll get that. It's all right.
It's the German.
And then everyone's like, dude, that's what all the poor people drink in Germany.
It's the German equivalent of Pabst Blue Ribbon is what we have here. That's like the dirt cheap. Like
it sounds like a poor person drink.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just the further down south you go, and I can say this because I'm from Florida, and I used to live in the South even though it wasn't really.
Okay, so in terms of like stereotypical Southern states, does Florida count?
No, that's See, whenever I make fun of Southern people, I always have to give that caveat that no, because Florida has a huge Spanish population, and especially where I came from, like Central Florida, it's just not. I mean, you can find parts of Florida that definitely has like sort of like Southern accents and values and whatever, but for the most part, it's just kind of like a big melting pot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But Pabst Blue Ribbon is definitely, if you see a bunch of like hillbillies around a pickup truck, it's usually going to be like PBR.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, but we do. I think Americans do think of Foster's as Australians beer because I think they ran with the commercial like it was always saying like Foster's, it's Australian for beer. So you guys,
I'm pretty sure it's made in another country as well.
Is
it
produced
and sold in other countries as Australian beer? What the hell is this?
It is terrible. That was like my stepdad's favorite drink, and I never understood why. Because it comes in that giant can, and it doesn't taste good.
No, it's got a big F for failure on the front. It's just terrible. But actually, there's a funny story. There's a brand over here called VB, which stands for Victorian Bitter or Victoria Bitter, which is a state, Victoria.
Okay.
It's pretty like salt. Like if you go to any pub anywhere in Australia, they'll sell it. Some people love it, some people hate it, but they actually entered a craft beer competition under a different name, but they entered the actual beer as just the standard VB, and they ended up winning this craft beer competition.
Wow.
And they're like, gotcha. It's that stuff that you say is rubbish.
That's legit. They act like in a competition not set up by themselves.
Got him.
Damn.
No. It was like a competition to find the tastiest craft beer, like little microbrewery thing, and they just entered their standard ass VB, and they ended up winning.
Wow. That would. I'll tell you what. That would never happen here with Bud Light or anything.
It would be like if McDonald's entered like the world's best burger competition and entered it under like a name that wasn't McDonald's, and they ended up winning, and they're like, "Gotcha, bitch! It's us!" Like what the.
I saw this great video. It was awesome. It was like, I think it was like a couple of Swedish guys, and they took like a bunch of McDonald's and they like basically cut it up and like presented it nicely, and they took it to like a foodie convention where they're like the best food critics were trying foods, and literally like every single one, at least the ones that they showed in the video, were just like, oh, it's wonderful, oh, it's so good, oh, my palate is singing with the delicious taste of this. What is that? And you know, it was McDonald's the whole time.
What is this? It's MSG, dog. It's trans fats and MSG.
It's not real meat. It's like filler. Oh my god, it's already
okay. So the questions, the Q&As.
Yeah, it's already been 50 minutes. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Let's see. I wanted to ask. I've got a whole bunch of stuff here that I wanted to ask you about, but let's go with. What do you think the best game for Easter eggs is outside of Elder Scrolls? Because you know. They all have their... I think Elder Scrolls is honestly shitty when it comes to Easter eggs. I mean, they have a lot, but like other games do it way bigger, you know, like other series.
I think the problem with the Elder Scrolls and Easter eggs is anything that's in the games becomes lore.
Right.
So if they put a giant, I don't know, like crashed UFO in Skyrim, suddenly aliens are in the lore, and you know how lore people are in Elder Scrolls, that wouldn't fly.
That is true.
But I feel like in other games, that kind of stuff doesn't matter that much.
No.
Like, I don't know, in GTA, there might be a crashed spaceship or something, and they're like, oh, it's an Easter egg. But if they put that in Skyrim, it would be the end of the world, and there'll be theories about where the spaceship came from, and very complex.
I kind of like that, though. I do like how they're sort of protective with what they put in their games, but I do also feel like they could definitely... I don't know, there's just nothing like, you know, like, oh, what, like a hidden door... that you find, and there's like some crazy
they do need a bit more of that. There was in Skyrim, there's a GLaDOS from Portal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In Portal 2, she or he, I've never played it, but GLaDOS gets turned into a potato or a potato battery or something.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And in one of the last dungeons you go into for the main quest of Skyrim, there's a fireplace, and behind the fire in the fireplace is a potato with a cream tart and 5 bits of charcoal on it. Make it look like GLaDOS in potato form. And I think that's the best Easter egg in Skyrim.
Okay. I'm wondering if I know, because I know that there's the one like the Pac-Man one, so it's similar to that. It's just like laid out items.
Stuff like that's good. All the physical stuff, you're like, oh, I recognize this thing they've recreated. But a lot of it's like names,
references.
Or NPCs will like drop a line from a movie or something. You're like, it doesn't really meh.
Yeah.
But, from what I remember, The Witcher 3 has heaps of good ones.
Like what? Because I know there's the Tyrion one, like the Sky Cell, which was cool.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch actually.
There's the I don't know if it's a reference to anything, but you know when you kill all the cows in a town and that giant like cow demon comes out.
Yeah. I remember. Okay, so what happened was. There were these cows that respawned, and people would kill them, get the stuff from them to sell their cow hide.
Oh.
And then they would respawn instantly, and people abused that to get like $1 million gold. So the developers introduced a patch where if you kill more than 2 cows that have respawned, giant like endgame demon comes out of the forest and kills you.
Oh, that makes so much more sense now.
If you want to exploit this, we're going to destroy you.
Okay, see, I thought it was like...
I love how they didn't take it out. They left it in, but they're like, if you use it, you'll die instantly.
Yeah, that's actually a really smart way to do it. I thought it was a reference to Diablo for the longest time, because like that hidden cow level or whatever.
Yeah. I can't remember what that was. Something to do with the cow, and then a portal would open, and you'd go to like some cow plane of existence.
Yeah, like some hellscape.
I can't remember.
Have you ever played? GTA is really good with Easter eggs. GTA has some amazing ones.
I haven't played it.
Oh, okay.
I played Vice City when that was a thing. And then I got to a level where you had to fly a remote control helicopter into a building, and I quit the game forever. It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, I've only played 4 and 5, but I remember 4 took place in like a fictional New York, and if you flew to the Statue of Liberty, you could go inside it, and like it had an actual like organic beating heart, and that was like sort of like a hidden thing. It was kind of odd, but a great game for Easter eggs is, have you ever heard of the Talos Principle?
I've heard that. I think I've heard just that as a sentence. I don't know if it's referencing the game though.
Oh yeah, there's like a Talos. Well, it's not related to the Elder Scrolls, but there's like what the Talos Mistake is a book in the Elder Scrolls, but this is a game made by like the Serious Sam creators, and it's like all about it's very similar to Portal, in its own way, but there's like Easter eggs up the ass. It's like literally everywhere you look, there's like these crazy big physical Easter eggs. It's amazing.
Right, that's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like something like the new Doom that came out last year, that's got some cool ones.
Yeah, Doom had a lot of good ones too.
A lot of them were just like real obvious physical, like I know exactly what that is right there.
Yep, a lot of references to like the other games from id and stuff.
It was good.
It was unfortunate that like the classic levels, I didn't realize it was a mechanic because, you know, the first time I found one, I was like, holy, it just blew my fucking mind that they programmed, you know, a classic level in Doom. But then I realized that was actually like an intended mechanic. There was one in every single level, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But I liked it better when I thought I found like a secret, you know. I just want to ask you, like, you know, I think anybody like you or I that do Elder Scrolls or Fallout, we're probably drawn to like other RPG. Like, what's your favorite RPG that's not Elder Scrolls or Fallout?
Oh, well, actually, it's probably The Witcher 3.
Yeah, that's up there for me too.
That game was so good. It is so good. It's still so good.
Have you played the DLCs?
Yes, play them.
Are they as good as everybody says they are?
Okay, so the last DLC, Blood and Wine, is actually nominated for the Game of the Year. The DLC was nominated for Game of the Year.
Why is it so good? I'm constantly hearing how good these two DLCs are, and I love the base game, by the way. I give it a 10 out of 10. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Why are the DLCs so goddamn good?
I don't know. Actually, I think just everything that company does is just like, this is so good. It's hitting every mark perfectly. On Steam, the Blood and Wine DLC has an average rating of 10 out of 10.
Holy shit.
It's like, what the hell is this?
God.
But, you know, it's got like 16,000 reviews or something, and the average rating is 10 out of 10. I'm like, bro, they did something very right.
Well, what is it? Is it like the story? Is it the gameplay? Is it what do they do?
Legit, it's everything. It really is everything.
Yeah, I mean,
no. I'm so bad at pinpointing things.
No, it's okay, because I mean, really, that describes The Witcher 3 and why it was so good. They just hit the nail on the head with like everything, how the gameplay felt, the graphics, the plot, the cutscenes, the voice acting. Like, it was all amazing. So I imagine it's just like an extension of that. But I have only heard good things about that DLC, both of them.
Definitely worth playing. There's a good friend of mine who works in the gaming industry, and he just started playing The Witcher 3 like a week ago. And his theory was that because everyone was saying it was so good, that it must mean that it was terrible. You know, that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Just like everyone's talking it up too much, so he won't play it because it won't be as good as everyone's saying it is. And he's like, dude, why didn't I play this when it came out? This is the best game I've ever played.
My girlfriend doesn't know like anything about him. The newest, I don't care about your newest Windows feature update. Get the fuck out of here. I'm doing a podcast. Oh my God, snooze. Get out. Jesus. Yeah, anyways, she's completely fresh to the Witcher 3 to the Witcher series, and she wants to start with 1 and go to 2 and then 3, and I'm trying to make her, just trying to tell her, please don't just start with 3. I don't know how good 1 and 2 are, and I'm sure they're good, but 3 is...
I'd never played 1 or 2 and went straight to 3, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever.
Me too. Yeah, exactly.
I will admit, I played like the first level of 1, like a day before Witcher 3 came out, and I was like, this is the hardest thing ever. The combat mechanics were just like, oh, guys, what have you done? It's terrible.
That's like, yeah, that's the idea I got too.
You had to change your combat stance depending on your enemy's armor.
No.
It was just like there were these mechanics in the combat where you're like,
just feels clunky.
Kind of making it. It's also just like all these extra things you have to think about.
Yeah, exactly.
And some would argue, like, you know, the more realistic, the better. But there gets to a point where you're like, all right, come on. This is really annoying. Let's just make it a bit more fun.
Oh man, all right, that one. You know, as I do these podcasts, the hours go faster and faster and faster because I think I'm getting more comfortable and it's just, I can relax and enjoy the podcast more. That hour, seriously, that went by like insanely fast to me. Why don't we end on one question here? And this question is so cliche, but I know I'm gonna get it constantly. This is a Patreon question. I'm not even gonna say the guy's name because I'm probably gonna have some, vitriolic comments, or not vitriolic, but kind of just, you'll see what I mean in a second. But yeah, I want to get your viewpoint on this one. It's so cliche, and hopefully we can set the record straight on your episode. So a patron asks, I've been in love with someone that I have known for years and have many happy memories with, but she already has a boyfriend. There's a chance that I can win her back, though. What should I do? You want me to take this one first, or do you want to go?
No, you shoot. I was legit up for some Elder Scrolls.
No.
Way off guard.
No.
I can win her back. Wait, does that mean she's still with her boyfriend?
Yeah, she already has a boyfriend. So she has a boyfriend right now.
Okay.
So I think obviously, again, I'm not gonna say this guy's name because I think it's pretty clear that this is coming from a younger person, maybe middle school, maybe high school, something like that. And I don't want to assume, I could be wrong, but I feel like that's the case. So I've been in love with someone that I've known for years that I have many happy memories with, but she already has a boyfriend. There's a chance that I could win her back, though. What should I do? So he's not saying that he ever had her, though. He's saying that he could win her back, but
I think he means like win her.
Oh, win her back from him.
Win her back from the other guy.
Right. Okay. Well, here's the thing, man. If you're listening, if she's with her boyfriend, if she's never expressed any interest in you, if she's never, I don't know, made it clear that she's into you on some level, the chances, I think, are going to be really small. I mean, I've been in situations like this where I've really liked a girl, but she was with like one of my friends, and it's never worked out. There have been instances where I have gone out with them, but it never worked out. If they just, I mean, they're probably with that guy for a reason, first of all, but I don't know the extent of your relationship. Maybe there's a chance, but I would think that if she seems happy with her boyfriend, if she seems like she's in a good relationship, I would probably move on because you don't want to mess that up for her. And there's just probably not that big of a chance that things will turn out the way that you think they will.
Yeah, that's a pretty good answer. It's pretty much like, I reckon just chill, man. I mean, dude, every year in high school, you're like, oh my God, this is the one. This is the most important thing ever. Then in hindsight, I'm like, that was the dumbest stuff.
Everything.
But,
yeah.
Pretty much every girl who I was like, oh my God. Soon after, I was like, oh, that girl. Ugh. Or they would write it out, break up with their boyfriend at the time, whatever, get a new boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. And then down the line, they're like, oh, and I always liked you. And you're like, I knew it. I was right. And then you'll end up having a bit of fun with them.
Yeah, that could happen.
You play your cards right, boy.
Yeah. All right, I concur.
So I understand the importance of, like, when you're in high school and you're into some chick and it's all you can think about. And you're like, oh my God, my life will not be complete without her. Like some weird Sith plot. But write it out, man. You'll get to a point where you're just like, yeah, whatever. If she's got a boyfriend, I mean, I feel like that only happens in movies.
Yeah.
They rip someone away from their boyfriend.
Yeah.
And even if you do, like, what? Then you're a douchebag.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know if you ever saw The Graduate, but it's like, he fights, like, this guy fights so hard to win this girl, and then at the end he realized like he was just kind of just fighting to fight, and they're just sitting like on a bus, and they're just like, now what, So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
sure. Hunter is nothing without the hunt. It's kind of like once you get it, you're like, yeah, nah.
Exactly.
I don't know what this was.
Well, there you have it. Relationship advice from Camelworks and Grohlvana. I think that was an excellent podcast. Thank you so much for joining me, Camel. If you would like to promote anything and everything, go ahead. Tell the people where they can find you.
Oxhorn on YouTube. Yeah, so Camelworks on YouTube. That's one word. It is, the logo is a cog with a camel in it. It's literally Camelworks. I was so happy when I came up with that logo, man.
I like it.
Yeah, boy!
It stands out. I like it.
It's Camelworks is actually an anagram of my first and last name, and it's hilarious watching people trying to figure out what it is.
I never knew, but now I know. Okay.
I don't care if people know what my name is, but it's way funnier watching people trying to figure it out by deconstructing the name Camelworks. It's hilarious.
Oh, I see. You meant, okay. You meant people trying to figure out what your name. I thought you meant people trying to figure out what your name means. Because I was going to introduce you as a camel, but then I was like, that's not funny. So I didn't.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so heaps of Elder Scrolls stuff. With the 20-year wait between the Elder Scrolls 6 and now. If you need an Elder Scrolls fix, come and watch me detect some mysteries within the Elder Scrolls universe. That's pretty much it. That is detectives, Easter egg videos every now and then, some very awful Q&As. If any of that sounds good.
All right, well, there you go. His link will be in the description below. Please click it and go subscribe to him. Camelworks, thank you so much for coming on Morningstar. This was an excellent podcast, I think. I think it turned out really well.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, man. Come to E3 this year or the next, at some point.
I will try if I can make it on by car. It could happen, definitely.
Yeah, do it. There's another YouTuber around you. Actually, no, I won't say who it is, because then people will be like, he lives in where you live.
Oh, you can tell me afterwards, yeah.
Okay, there's a friend of mine I'm trying to get to E3, and he lives where you live.
Okay, cool, yeah. Let's talk about it as soon as I hit stop recording. People, you will never hear this conversation. I'm sorry, but it involves personal details, and I cannot show it to you. Okay, Morningstar Episode 4. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you.